Welcome to Safety and Health Training. This training will teach you how to handle emergencies and disaster and also identify the emergency drills for the Grove Recovery Center. Emergency evacuation. The purpose of an emergency evacuation is to provide direction and guidance on what to do in the event of an emergency. It also helps to support both employees and clients with guidance in the execution of the evacuation plans in order to keep all personnel safe and sound in the event of an emergency. The goal is to empower personnel with the confidence to lead clients and take action in order to lead clients out of dangerous emergency situations, and the expected results are that all clients and personnel know what action to take and what rendezvous points to gather at in the event of an emergency. Preparation. In the unlikely event of an emergency, all personnel needs to be on the same page and be ready to respond accordingly. Follow this plan of action in order to protect people, places, and the environment. An annual refresher planning will take place as well as quarterly drills. The different types of emergencies we will review and identify a plan for are active shooter drills, extreme heat, fires, drought, tornadoes, COVID-19 pandemic, heart attacks, hurricanes, and flooding. Here is the chain of command flow. For example, if an alarm sounds, supervisors, educators, emergency response, growth management teams will notify supervisors via radio communications with the code 007 or 007. Supervision in field offices, classrooms, get clients to line up in a single file line. Clients slowly and orderly walk to the nearest rendezvous point. In the case of a fire, walk upwind, then crosswind. Supervisor uses clipboard and documents roll call for all clients under his supervision. The telephone tree will be activated in the event of an emergency. Here is the telephone tree for the Grove Recovery Center at Ascension and Baton Rouge locations. Here are emergency and disaster phone numbers of personnel that need to be contacted at the Ascension location in the event of an emergency or a disaster. Here are emergency and disaster phone numbers for people that need to be contacted in the event that an emergency or a disaster happens at the Baton Rouge location. Once the telephone tree is activated, family members and or clients will be notified in the case of a serious emergency. A decision will be made and communicated whether the Grove will shelter in place or evacuate. In the event of an emergency or disaster and the client needs to go home, permission must be granted by the designated representative. The response must be documented. Separate floor plans and diagrams are posted in significant rooms. For example, they're posted in offices, group rooms, waiting rooms, in the kitchen, near the exit signs. Floor plans are designed to show how and where to exit the buildings in a safe and timely manner. Identify safe zones, rendezvous points outside the building. For shelter in place, for example, an active shooter, personnel may have to stay put and shelter safely during non-fire emergencies. Know the drill. Know what to do if a crisis occurs, such as an active shooter, a stabbing, hostage situation, or death. If the order is to lock down, then you should stay calm and remain quiet, follow the instructions of the supervisor, move away from all windows and doors, remain in this position until you receive further instructions, and most importantly, do not answer the door. In the event of a fire or bomb threat and there is an order to evacuate, then you should stay calm and line up quietly, follow the instructions of the supervisor, tech, etc. Walk quickly and quietly in line to the designated safe area. Answer the roll when your name is called. Listen for further instructions. Do not enter until the all clear is given. During dangerous weather, for example, tornado warnings, move indoors to a safe location. Then you should stay calm and remain quiet, follow the instructions of the person in charge, move to a safe location and get into the correct position, wait for further directions before moving. Know what to do if a crisis occurs. In the event of a chemical release or hazardous materials, and there's an order to shelter in place, you should stay calm and remain quiet, follow the instructions of the supervisor, move away from all doors and windows, remain in this position until you receive further directions, and do not open or answer the door. Please see the handout for pictures of safe zones and rendezvous points for your facility. Please take a moment to familiarize yourself with this list of emergency numbers. Accountability. What to do if a client goes unaccounted for? A, leave the group and go find him. B, notify your current supervisor. C, assume he went with another group. Or D, pretend he doesn't exist. The Grove at Ascension. The Grove at Ascension provides residential services and is operational 24/7. A determination to shelter in place or evacuate is determined by the OSHAP requirements and/or recommendations. Safety and health training. Training will be provided at orientation and at least annually thereafter. You will be provided with education on what to do during a disaster or an emergency. Practical drills for all personnel to demonstrate procedures will be taken, and monthly testing of flashlights and confirmation of emergency supplies will occur. If an emergency or disaster affects the Grove at Ascension Residential Treatment Center, a determination to shelter in place or evacuate will be made on a case-by-case basis by the administrator. Regardless of the determination to shelter in place or evacuate for the safety of the clients and employees, the following steps will be taken. The telephone tree will be activated, and if the Grove of Ascension is unable to resume routine on-site services timely, each client's status and treatment will be assessed to determine whether the client continues to receive or require services. Once the imminent danger of the emergency or danger has passed, the administrator will submit a copy of emergency preparedness plan for review, submit written summary of how the plan was executed and when requested by the health standards, note deficiencies, and if the plan was not followed, investigate why and implement a new plan of action to prevent obstacles from happening again. And if the emergency resulted in a tragedy, provide counseling to those affected. If there is a prolonged interruption of normal services, the administrator, in conjunction with the clinical director, will determine whether telehealth will be utilized in order to provide ongoing services to clients. This is the end of the health and safety training. Please complete the post test. Thank you.